Hello guys, and welcome to episode 38 of Plum's Quest for Plum Lab series. So last episode, you guys probably remembered, we did some pretty nifty stuff. And when I say nifty stuff, I mean we had a pretty nice time building our compact machines room. And this is basically where we left off the last episode, and it's where I want to pick up for this one. So last episode, we obviously, gave a bit of a wall frame for the building. We haven't got any flooring or anything fancy like that. All we have is basically the frame for where the floor's going to be. And the flooring, I've kind of gone through a few ideas in my head, and I think I'm tempted to go for a bit of a orangey typed thing. Like, I don't know whether to go for these sort of orange caution stripes or whether to just have those periodically dotted in the room. Since I think compact machines, you'll see what I mean when I say it's a pretty nifty, because I always think sort of orange is kind of industrial anyway, but I don't know if I necessarily want this to be the entire floor sort of thing. I don't know whether it really goes, if it would really suit the room. Evidently, if I light it up a bit. Do you think that works, guys? I mean, of all the factory blocks, I think it's one of the neater looking ones. Whether I use that, periodically and sort of make a bit of a pattern out of the floor, I haven't quite fully decided yet. In terms of, like I said, looking at the rest of the blocks, there's definitely like some rusty plates and stuff, but you know what? I think I'm probably gonna just stick out with it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. One thing I could probably check on, actually, I know it's a bit of a glitchy block to try and use. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get 9 blocks, and I'm gonna see if we can get one of those big fans working. And you'll see what I mean when I say they're a bit of a they're a bit of a mess, basically. So if I put them down, as you can see, they basically form multi-blocks, but only in certain positions. So okay, there we go. I've got a giant fan that could basically work if I integrated that into the wall. But if I try and move him along a few blocks, it would basically not work at all. What I mean by that is, like, the multi-block, it only works in certain positions. So if I try to have it here, you'd have like half of the fan cut off and another fan next to it, if that makes sense. It's a bit of a bug that's been around, like, basically since the mod's been around, but I just haven't really, fixed it. In terms of how the block actually forms the multi-shape. So I'm kind of debating, do I want like big fans or little fans? Because if I had big fans, I'd probably want them like sort of here. But as you can see, look, so if I tried to have one here, that's the start of a new fan, and that's like the old fan. There's no way to make them marry up if you want them in a very specific position. So I think I'm just going to stick, pretty standard with the normal ones. And I think I am going to stick with this sort of yellow striped caution block, because it looks kind of neat. And like I said, I want it to sort of be an orange themed room anyways, so I don't think it's going to cause us too much of a pain just having some orange floor. Evidently I'm going to put some lighting and stuff in here and make it look a bit neat. I'm not going to use torches, since I don't think it doesn't seem very industrial, like, at all really. So do we have any more factory blocks on us? Not too many. So I'm going to go and have a quick nip through here and make some more. I think last episode we smelted quite a bit of cobblestone. Well, I think I'm probably going to smelt just a little more. So I'm not, it's not going to be a problem having excess, really. So let's make a good few stacks of these guys. Let's get our chisel out, and I think we're going, we are going to need quite a few stacks of these guys. So let's make about 3 stacks, and hope that should be enough. Okay, our chisel's broken. I believe that basically dirt in the last episode when that happened. We basically had the chisel just like break on us, and then all like a stack of factory blocks just fell into the water below. But yeah, I think this room is really starting to take shape, and I think once you guys see how how compact machines works, I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed if you've never seen the mod before. Obviously, if you guys have seen the mod before, you guys are going to be like, yeah, I've seen it before, not too interested. But for me, as someone who's not really, practically used them in survival before, obviously I've messed around with them in creative mode and stuff, and sort of, learned how the mod works, but I've not really put them to practical use yet. I think that it'll be a kind of interesting enterprise to put them into practical use. So, should we do another team? Have we got enough blocks? Comment below if you think we've got enough blocks, guys. I think it's probably going to be a bit of a running theme of Plum Labs every time. You do a bit of a comment, have we got enough blocks? So, do you think we have, guys? I personally think we may have. Ooh, 4 blocks. So if you guys said we have enough blocks, then wow. I can't believe how close that was. So you know what? That one I'm definitely not going to have any judgments remotely if you guys, no matter what your vote was there. That was a really close thing there. So to be fair, I think this room is possibly maybe even a bit too big. It's not perfectly square, but if I'm honest, I'm not overly worried about that really. So what I'm going to do next is the roof, and I think I'm going to stick with the factory block theme. So roofing wise, it's kind of hard to think what would actually work well for the roof. So I'm tempted to stick with the orange theme. We've got some vents and stuff, some scaffolding, some exhaust plating blocks. There's quite a few interesting ones that we could actually use. What about something like purple wireframe? How do you look on the roof? I'll get a torch here just so we can actually see what's going on. Do you look... I'm not sure how I like that. I'm really not sure. No, for an entire roof, I'm not a big fan of that. For maybe the odd section, maybe, but not for the entire roof. That's just my personal preference, anyway. What about this nice block here? I believe we've used this before, and there's just something about it that I really like. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm really quite a big fan of this block. What I'm definitely going to do, though, is go and make some more of them, since we appear to be quite low on factory blocks. So if I stick this guy down and get out the old exchanger, let's see, shift right click on this guy, and why do you mean out of block? I'm shift right clicking. Why are you being silly? Oh, there we go, now he's working. He just, for some reason, he was deciding he wants to derp. So if I do a 7x7, okay, we are officially out of factory blocks now. Like, 2 stacks should be more than enough. So we're not exactly low on iron or anything, so I'm not, worried about running out. Let's get our chisel out and make some more. So I feel like 1 stack's probably pushing it, but 2 should be more than enough to finish the room off. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I do have a little bit of a plan of how to make Plum Labs look a little bit neater in terms of sectioning things off. And at the minute, I admit it probably looks a little bit mediocre, but I do have some pretty nifty ideas on me on how I can make Plum Labs look a little bit neater. Please tell me that we have enough for 2 stacks. I thought 2 stacks would be absolutely plenty. Oh, just shy again. This is... Okay, I did not mean to do that. I can't believe how close we've been like both times in terms of needing enough blocks. This is just going to be a common theme, I swear, with Plum Labs, where we just end up with just not quite enough. So that's sort of the only corner, I believe, where we haven't got enough. So then there's that block. There we go. So the roof's now done. And the only thing that's a main problem in that room now is lighting. I'm going to stick some fans in there, obviously, as a bit of, wall decoration. Although I've just got rid of my fan, didn't I? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I want to sort of possibly look into some sort of lamps and stuff, maybe. Now, there's some pretty neat ones from actually Editions, and I kind of want to use these to sort of light up the area just a little bit. I know there's like these sort of tiles and stuff, there's like ceramic tiles from some sort of decoration spot. Are these, they don't appear to be craftable though, but I just want something that sort of I can use to section off areas of Plum Labs that'd look pretty cool. So I'm going to go look for some blocks, guys, and once I've found one, I will be right back. So guys, I think I've come up with a nifty way of how I'm going to light all this stuff up. And I think I'm going to do it using, actually Editions, lamps. So, first things first, I think we're going to need some lapis lazuli. And we're going to need quite a bit of it. And what I'm going to need to do is get the atomic reconstructor and reconstruct it into these sort of crystals. So if I do that, there you go, so I've now got 2 stacks of these palace crystals. And if I go lab and I say, for the actual Editions room we want orange lamps, we're going to need some orange dye. And to get orange dye, so we would need some sort of rose red maybe. Red. See, so the recipe for rose reds, we need like a red tulip or a rose bush or something like that. So if I look up red, do we have any sort of red flowers or anything? I don't believe we really do. I've not really gone and collected any. I've got some red orchids, which I don't believe. Oh, you can't even make those into dye anyway. So how am I going to get orange dye? Is there any other recipes? So that's you can do it with honey. you can see the vanilla. You can get orange pigment, which is from pulverizing something like orange wool, or centrifuging orange concrete powder, and okay. So yeah, there's not really any other way. There's a way from industrial foregoing. I wonder how you make orange artificial dye. So you need a dye mixer, and by the looks of it, that makes it somehow a dye mixer. And the dye mixer, I feel like we could probably make a dye mixer actually. So a dye mixer. Do we have everything we need to make this guy? We don't have any green dye. Do we have any cactus? I believe we should do. Yeah, we just don't have any cactus green. So if I smelt that guy up, and I cook dye again. So the dye mixer. So it requires that. Requires some red dye. But I don't think we really have anything to make red dye with. So what we are going to have to do is go out and find a rose, basically. I don't think we'd ever really have to do this. But we are pretty much near... Okay, you are a poppy, and I believe you can be made into red dye. Which is perfect. So, we've got stuff to make red dye, guys. I believe we hopefully now should have everything we need to make this dye mixer. And I'm hoping... Okay, broken poppy, apparently. Can we now... Stop doing that. Oh, I just put it away, didn't I? In fact, we've got more poppies actually, so I probably could have just gone and done that. But we only have 4, so it's not particularly sustainable to keep doing that. So dye mixer, we need that and the simple machine chassis. So we can make one of these guys. And now we hopefully should be able to make a dye mixer. I'm not sure if it needs power or not. It's not something I've really ever used before. Okay, so he needs power. So let's find somewhere to hook him up onto the power lines. I could probably... I almost feel like sticking him in here. I mean, I know it's a really crude place to just stick him. So we stick him there and see how he works. So the dye mixer. If I look up, say, red artificial dye, you don't really seem to tell me how to make it, do you? You just seem to have a very complicated interface and not really any way to tell me. So, what I think we need to do is go and consult our industrial foregoing manual. And is there a dye mixer anywhere? Generator, animal, conveyor belts, generators, agriculture. I don't know exactly where you would. Perhaps some resource production. It doesn't appear to be in resource production. Mob interaction. I don't think it'd really be in magic either. Okay, it's in storage apparently. So it'll produce dye more efficient than normal crafting. Give it red dye, green dye, and blue dye, and it will find the color buffers, giving when given a laser lens. Focus that colour and produce a specified dye. So I'm going to try and get this guy up and running, guys, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I've done a little bit of sort of hunting around, and I think I've basically managed to get a bit of an understanding of how this guy works. I'm probably going to do a bit of a tutorial on this guy, since he seems a little bit complicated, and there's not really much information online on sort of how to make this guy. So if I can make myself some orange glass, that'd be very, very helpful. Do I have any actual glass on me that could work? Okay, so if I smelt myself up a stack of glass, we have quite a lot of sand in there, but no actual glass really. Let's just wait for it to pop in here. Okay, so now we've got orange stained glass. Now we hopefully should be able to make that into a pane. And hopefully now we should be able to make the laser lens. So if I get myself an orange laser lens, we've got a little bit of pink slime and stuff. I don't think we have too much of it, but we've got a little bit to spare. So if I stick this guy in here, can I now... okay, so I can stick the red dye in there. For some reason the dandelion yellow, it doesn't really want to actually go in there. And I'm not quite sure why. Does it have to have... Oh, I believe it only runs on red, green, and blue. Ah, I see. So it doesn't run on yellow dye. You have to use either green. So the only problem with green dye is we need cactuses. We need cactus green, but we don't really have many... we don't exactly have many cactuses growing around here. Okay, you've just broken it, since I keep forgetting that cactuses are very particular about what they grow next to. They only really grow next to sand, really. Other blocks they kind of get a bit finicky with. So if I break these guys, I think what we'll just have to do, guys, is basically just wait for our cactuses to grow. And we'll harvest some cactuses, guys, and we'll be right back. Okay, yeah, so a little bit of time has passed, and I've, you know, managed to get myself a little bit more cactus going. And I believe I'll need this guy and a bit of lapis. So we've got 141 lapis, so we've got, you know, just a little bit. And if I take it 16, because like I said, I believe this guy runs an RGB rather than an... Yeah, so if I've now got 17% of that. I've only got 5% of the red dye by the looks of things. So if I give this guy a little bit more, so he's got 12% of the red dye. How much cactus green do we have? I believe it's going to go straight into here. Yep, so 21 cactus green. That should be more than enough for what we need. So if I stick this guy in here, yeah, so we're now making orange artificial dye. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly pause it a second, as I don't know exactly how much we're going to need for the lamps. But I believe this is definitely the most efficient way of trying to do things. So if I stick you in here, as far as I'm aware, these lamps basically work is you empty hand right click on them and they basically work. Yeah, I mean they don't exactly multi-block in the way I was hoping they would, but I think they basically work in the way we want them to. So if I stick this guy on the floor here, and I keep forgetting I need to empty hand right click do this. So if I do that, oh okay, we appear to have attracted a few mobs and stuff in here. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty tense. I'd really rather them not blow up the brand new room I've just built. I'm sure there's probably much safer ways of doing this, but this appears to be the safest way I can think of doing it without them actually blowing anything up. There we go. So I think it's the F7 key? Or, okay, I'm not entirely sure what key it is, but I know I think it's an F key you can use, which brings up the map of where mobs can spawn. Hostile mobs, that is. So if it's dark enough. So I'm tempted to say what I might do is have these guys sit in the corners maybe. So if I have a lamp there, go away that. This is not a cave. Go away. But they do output a fair bit of light actually, so it's not exactly the end of the world. So if I stick another one, I don't know whether to have them sit there maybe, or sit sort of actually in the floor or something. I kind of like them like this. I think they provide a bit more light this way too. It's possibly a little bit dark in the middle, so I'm going to remove one block and then replace that with a lamp. Now it does coincide with the middle of the room. There we go. I mean, it's not perfect, but I think that is a pretty neat looking room. I'm obviously going to do a bit more stuff with the lamps in the future, as I think what I might do is sort of line the corridors. So in Plum Labs I might have like maybe like sort of a green stripe going along this corridor or something leading to the agricultural room. Whoa, there's a creeper in the actual lab. How the hell did you get in here? I genuinely thought this area was actually lit up enough not to spawn creepers. Is it not? Is it like too dark there maybe? I'm a bit paranoid now. Although it's possibly it's probably in here actually where it spawned in. So I'm just going to temporarily at least stick some torches in, just to stop us having any more creeper heart attacks. I believe this room should be fine. It was just that room in there that was probably a little bit too dark to spawn mobs. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the way things are turning out this episode. What we're going to need now is some compact machines, though. So obviously we are kind of coming to the wrapping up point of the episode. So I think actually what I might do is just sort of finish off this room, and then go ahead and wrap up the episode. Now I'm not quite sure where to stick these fans, if I'm honest, since I kind of want them to be kind of visible in the room. I'm possibly going to maybe stick them like in these corners maybe. So if I have a fan there and a fan there, because I don't want them necessarily to be, you know, massively obnoxious. There's still part of me is telling me to stick one of those big fans in, since, you know, actually, yeah, I think I'm going to keep these ones in the corner, but I think I'm going to stick some fans in the actual walls themselves. Since this is definitely a massive underground room. I think the idea that it has good ventilation would be kind of cool, I think. How do you guys think that sounds okay, guys? You know, kind of like a massive, big underground room. You'd probably want some ventilation in there. I feel like if it was me, I'd definitely want some myself. So what I'm gonna do is stick these guys away. And do we have any more factory blocks, or have we basically run out? No, we've got some here, which I can chisel into big fans. We've got 24, so we've got enough to make 2 large fans. I just need to basically figure out exactly where to stick this guy. So is this going to be an okay place? I don't know if this is going to work. So, okay, so if I stick him here, like I said, annoyingly I can't actually center him very well. So this is going to be like the top corner of the fan. So as much as they're not exactly, you know, perfect, I don't think I've got too big of an issue really with how these guys actually look. So if I place this guy here and here, I mean, okay, it's not perfectly centralized. I'm not gonna be able to get it perfectly centralized, but I don't think that's too big of an issue. Like, so if I stick this guy one block above the floor, is this? I need to figure out where the center is. Okay, so he lines up here and goes like this. There you go. I mean, you know, it could be prettier, I admit. I'm tempted to say maybe move it up a bit. But I think that's what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to move this guy up just a little bit. Which I could probably do actually by just putting this guy into 3x3 mode. Switching onto this and then just doing that. So if I then say switch onto the fan, I can then move the fan up to there. Okay, that's not quite in the right position, I admit. That is basically 2 fans. So if I do, whoops, that was not what I wanted to do. It's kind of awkward to do this in flying mode, I'm not going to lie. So if I stick this guy there, maybe have him there? Okay, he's still part of 2 fans. I mean, it's perhaps going to take a little bit for me to get the hang of this. So if he's there, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the fan maybe sit like there. So if I have this guy be fan blocks, and then I do this, and okay, these blocks I'm just going to get rid of by hand. And now I just need to do the fan on the opposite side, which would be this block, hopefully. So if I stick this guy here, okay, I've maybe gone a little bit over. Anyway guys, there you go, we've now fixed it. So we now have 2 fans at least. I'm possibly going to have one in that wall maybe, if I can get it to work. But you know, I think for now, it's not the most symmetrical room in the world, but it is a working room. And you know what? I'm kind of happy with it. I think obviously in terms of, you know, I've made the room accessible for, if I say I have someone on the server who can't fly, so that's pretty cool. But I think we have basically hit an okay wrapping up point for the episode. So I promise next episode, guys, we will definitely be getting on with some compact machines. I'll be showing you how they actually work. We basically just spent, you know, 2 episodes really getting the room actually ready to work. And, you know, I think it's been worth it. Like, I'm pretty happy with the way this room looks. You know, it's with the orange theme and the whole industrial theme. I'm kind of, you know, digging the theme of the room, actually. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Goodbye from Patent Plum. Built an empire of stars.